Hey guys, Desolator Magic here, and oh boy, the official start of spoilers for one of the most, I guess, anticipated in that people just want to see what it is. Magic sets of recent memory. They're just doing accurate-sized animals battling each other like some kind of weird 1980s public television thing. That wasn't on my bingo card, but they just dropped 61 cards on us, so I'm going to jump in. I'm probably going to have to skip some of the comments. So first up, we got Dream Do Entrancer. He's a 4-cost green-blue 3/4. So right there, we knew this was a 10-faction set. A lot of people suspected, okay, they're just going to do like a Ravnica thing, but they would never choose the exact same color combinations as Ravnica. And then they did that. Will the tribals align with the colors, though? Well, this one's a frog, so he's also a wizard. He's a 3/4 with reach, and when he enters the battlefield, tap up to one target creature and put 3 stun counters on it. If you control that creature, draw 2 cards. Ooh, a little risk and reward there, a little decision heavy. That's a very healthy way to send the game. They said back in the day they want less luck, less coin flipping, less, oh, I drew the right card so I win, and more decision, wisdom. Target this at the right time, target the right thing, make the right modal decision. And then that fell off after about a year and they just ramped up the power level. So next up we got Beza or Jeff Bezos, I don't know, the Bounding Spring. So legendary creature elemental elk, because of course it is. 4/5 with double white, so that's interesting. Might see a full cycle of these. And when Beza the Bounding Spring enters the battlefield, which they cut that off, they're now shortening it. Create a treasure token if an opponent controls more lands than you. Oh, this is like that balance card. Okay. You gain 4 life if an opponent has more life than you. Create 2 1/1 blue fish creature tokens if an opponent controls more creatures than you. And then, I thought it was going to be if an opponent controls more fish than you. Draw a card if an opponent has more cards in hand than you. So yeah, just super balanced tacked on to creature. So it's kind of neat. I think 4 mana is a good time to equalize the game, you know. Some would say it's a little late, but I mean, it doesn't cost 7. Next up, we've got Clement the Worrywart. He's the same colors as the last frog, and then also frog. So I think it's probably going to be color-locked tribals, or creature types. This is a druid, not a wizard, so not like that type, but I think literally the type of animal it is, as in creature type. So a 3-cost 3/3, frog druid, and vigilance, and when he or another creature enters the battlefield, return up to 1 target creature you control with lesser mana value to its owner's hand. So it's not part of the cost. You don't have to have a valid target in order to cast this spell. When the ETB goes off, normally he would bounce himself. That's like how that trigger kind of works if you don't have a valid target. Well, there is a valid target, it's him, so there always would be one, but it says with lesser mana value, so that condition would be false, but then it's whenever another creature you control enters. So he might get bounced by the next big one, so this is kind of dynamic, I like it. Frogs you control have tap to add 1 of each color in the frog tribal. Spend this mana only to cast a creature spell. Okay, this set's creature heavy and tribe oriented, I could have told you that. Next up, Repel Calamity. I'm skipping some of the more just mundane commons and uncommons, but we saw the artwork for this without them actually saying what set it was from initially. They just said, here's some artwork, no comment. Kind of neat, actually. But it's, 2, instant speed, white, destroy target creature with power, toughness 4 or greater. Either or. So, like, okay, real decent card for limited especially. Maybe valuable post-rotation, because this will be the first one post-rotation. But a lot of the cards we have right now are one or the other for the same cost. So I like this. Next up, another uncommon, but this was featured in the preview, and my gosh, Fell. Okay, sorcery speed, black, uncommon, 1 black, 1 not, destroy target creature, the end period. This is 33% better than murder. Holy crap. Go for the Throat has restrictions, Doomblade has restrictions. I can't name anything on this level. This is going to be a $3 or $4 uncommon. Now, why would they not put it in the rare slot? I mean, I'm about accessibility, but at this point, I know how they operate. They are as greedy as possible. They want the max dollar. You want to sell some packs, put this in the rare slot, but you put this in rare slot, everybody who runs a black deck that occasionally kills things in literally any format, going back to Eternal, they're going to want this, which would make it about 40, 50 bucks. So I think they made the right decision. I'm just shocked that they did. Now, also, the flavor text, when Glarb ordered the egg stolen, and we know generally some thing stealing an egg, or the Great Owl's Great Egg or whatever, like that was leaked or something. So we already knew that, but the bad guy is Glarb. Okay, cool. The Great Maha communicated its anger in a universal language. Ah, yes, the old Aqua Teen Hunger Force quote. If I woke up looking like that, I would just run towards the nearest living thing and kill it. Well, next up, we got another interesting uncommon, so I threw it in. It's a 3-cost 1/3 Bird Knight. So birds mono? I assume the entire set wouldn't be gold cards, 2-color cards. But I'm not sure if this is part of a tribe or not part of a tribe, or the knight part, because they're all 2. I don't know. We'll figure it out. It doesn't really matter. But flying double strike vigilance. Hello. Strap some equipment and some counters to this. I mean, it's in the air. Like, watch out. This thing. Don't sleep on this card at the draft. With a sample size of not enough, black-white, drafted. Shocker. I know. Every single live stream, I pretty much just draft black-white because it works. Red-black, y'all boring. Weak blitz crap, save that for constructed. Okay, I'm in it for the long run. We're going to have some lifelink up in this sucker. Well, next up we got Seed Pod Squire. It's a 3+ hybrid white-blue. Okay, a little flexibility there. Bird Scout. 3/3 flying, and when it attacks, target creature you control without flying gets +1/+1 till end of turn. Now, why did I throw in a common? Flying supporting flying, and what's one of the most powerful things in the magic? The real world, the opposite, the animal kingdom. Flying. It's like cheating. This is going to be a flying heavy set in a creature heavy set. If you don't know what to draft at this point, I can't help you. It's really spelling itself out. Next up, another Froggo. I knew that without even reading it because these frog colors. 2-cost double hybrid, cool. 1/1 Frog Advisor, and when he enters the battlefield, draw a card. Ooh. And remember, the frogs like to, bounce things. I just got that. Get it? They jump a lot, and also they're wizards, so they're going to flicker themselves. Well, actually, not flicker. They're going to outright leave the battlefield and re-enter the battlefield. That could be powerful. Okay. Next up, Valley Rotcaller. He's a Squirtle Warlock, so, I guess they're done with the tired old black. What do we do? I don't know. Rats? Red equals goblins, They're probably still going to do it. I didn't even look at this yet. So 1/3 for 2 with Menace. Okay. So I think this is really like boost and equipment heavy, at least in limited. And when this attacks, each opponent loses X life and you gain X life, where X is the number of squirrels, bats, lizards, and rats you control. I assure you I didn't read the card ahead of time. You guys know I'm way too lazy to do that. Next up, we got a common, but it's, showing off another tribal. So the Otters are apparently the Is It Guild, which we pretty much already knew. Apparently Otter is a slang term, and then they thought it was funny to throw Ral on it. Whatever, just stay away from kids. 3-cost 2/2. Creature Otter Wizard. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a 1/1 counter on Tempest Angler. So that's like prowess if prowess was good. Prowess is until end of turn. You keep that counter. This is insanely powerful for a common. And I've read a bunch of the commons and uncommons so far. They're kind of mundane. This looks like they kind of cranked the power level down to a reasonable amount. Not this one. I think this is really short on instants and sorceries, though, so, don't trip. But in Constructed, he'll probably be pretty powerful. Next up, we got Thunder Trap Trainer and Otter Wizard, mono blue, 1/2. And Offspring 4, okay. You may pay an additional 4 as you cast the spell, which that's 6, that's pretty high. If you do, when this creature enters, create a 1/1 token copy of it. Oh my gosh, mini-me. They're doing a Kangaskhan. Pokemon Universes Beyond and Half-Life 3 simultaneously confirmed. I don't know why, but I love this effect. Just you get a little miniature version of it. Now, this one, it being a rare, it's only 2. 4 is outrageous, and it's only a 1/2 in the first place, but I bet this effect is nuts. So when this creature enters the battlefield, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a non-creature, non-land card from among them and put it in your hand. Oh yeah, okay, that's good if that went off twice. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in random order. Ooh, that's kind of spicy. All right, next up we got Mind Drill Assailant. It's, black, blue, rat, warlock. Okay, they had to do it. 2/5, and Threshold. I'm featuring it just because Threshold is back. I think this was like number 2 on Mark's 20 years, 20 mistakes or whatever speech that he gave. He said, Threshold is one of the worst things I've ever designed, paraphrased, because it turns out people don't want to throw things into the graveyard. They actually want to play the cards in their hand. And it was just fundamentally flawed, and I think he stopped just short of saying we'll never print it again. So anyway, Threshold is back. It's got to be at least an 8 on the Storm scale. I'm not even going to look. Why? As long as 7 or more cards are in your graveyard, Mind Drill Assailant gets +3/+0. Oh, and it's 2/2 hybrid, by the way. Then 2/1 hybrid, blue-black, Surveil 1. Okay. I mean, that's just like nice. I don't think you're going to play a full graveyard pack in this set, but I don't know what to expect. Next up, you might think sagas are back, but classes are back. You know, it's always like warrior or like warlock squirrel. Are we going to see like Mr. Hoppins, junior middle management at the Census and Excise office? I would respect them if they actually did that. So this is enchantment class, and it's kind of like level up. So you gain the next level only at sorcery speed, so you can't just dump your mana at your opponent's end step, because that would be a little much. But this costs 2. Then whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card, so okay. Then if you pay 3, you can level it up to level 2. Non-creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Oh, that's not bad. And then pay another 3, you're at level 3, max out. If a source you control would deal non-combat damage to an opponent or a permanent an opponent controls, it deals that much damage plus 2 instead. Ooh. And we just got straight up doublers in the game. I don't know if they're cycling out. Who cares? Nobody really plays standard constructed anymore, so I'm really looking at this in the lens of limited play, of course. And wait till you see the desperation, the price slashes, the sales, the promotions, the free play that you're going to get on Arena when everybody quits simultaneously when the set drops. Because they avoided rotation for a darn good reason. Now that it's going to happen, yeah, everybody loses their decks all at once, got to get out a credit card to rebuild them, or anything resembling it. When nobody builds decks anymore, they just copy each other, so there's nothing to copy and nothing to play. They're going to go play Skyrim, all right? They're out. This is going to be the end for Arena. They knew they couldn't survive one rotation, so they tacked on another year. Well, it's been a year. Now the chickens are coming home to roost. Oh, well, they put the cord in the jukebox. They got to dance to the song, no matter how crap it is. So this is called Artist Talent. I guess the class would be Artist. Artists are known for their violence and doing more damage. None of this tracks. Let's move on. Season of the Bold, Red Mythic. Please tell me that they're back to printing one absolutely unplayable, comical, trash Mythic 25-cent pile of disgraceful garbage in every set. It's kind of a thing. Haven't really stuck to it lately, though. So it's a 5-cost sorcery. Okay, you got me interested. Choose up to 5, what the hell is that? Paw prints. Okay, worth of modes. You may choose the same mode more than once. Maybe I should have read the article. So 1 paw print. I think it's just self-contained on the card. I don't think these are actual counters. Create a tapped treasure token. 2 paw prints. Exile the top 2 cards in your library until the end of your next turn. You may play them. And 3 paw prints until end of your next turn. Whenever you cast a spell, Season of the Bold deals 2 damage to up to 1 target creature. That's right. A sorcery that's in your graveyard will be dealing damage. Kind of confusing if you gave all your spells lifelink. You jam all 5 into the tap treasure token. Spend 5, create 5, double up next turn, and let's go, you know. Otherwise, you know, 3 plus 2, 3 plus 1 plus 1. I don't really need to explain it. I could look up what they're officially calling these, but it's way more fun if I don't. So next up, we got Season of Loss. Okay, so obviously this would be a rotation. I mean, I could have told you that. 5-cost double black, sorcery, mythic. Choose up to 5 paw prints worth of modes. You may choose the same mode more than once. All right. So 1, each player sacrifices a creature. That's right, each player, as in like all y'all. 2 paw prints. Draw a card for each creature you controlled that died this turn. Okay, the little anti-board wipe, but also, you know, each player sacks a creature, just saying. Get a little partial refund on yours if you don't go too nuts with the 1 cost. Okay, and then 3. Each opponent loses X life, where X is the number of creature cards in your graveyard. Oh, you could nail somebody with this. You could do some damage. Dang, this is flexible. This is the best one out of all 2 of them that I've seen so far. Next up, Alania, Divergent Storm. Oh, Divergent, SJW term. I'm neurodivergent. I'm not biotypical. They gave it a name, so now I don't have to improve myself in any way, and I can blame everybody else for my problems. Why won't anyone hire me? It must be white men. Anyway, 5 cost, 3/5 legendary creature, otter wizard. I think this is one they reskinned as Ral in one of them. Whatever. Whenever you cast a spell, if it's the first instant spell, the first sorcery spell, or the first otter spell. Oh, that's right. This is in the preview. Or the teaser, Mark Rosewater's teaser video. Other than Alania, you've cast this turn, you may have a target opponent draw a card. If you do, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy, but then see, it remains in their hand. That's gambling. That's definitely gambling. Next up, oh, we've got Glarb. I didn't think they'd do the reveal yet. Okay, Calamity's Augur, 3-color. Didn't see that coming. Frog Wizard Noble. I'm sure there's a code or association here, almost as sure as I am that there isn't. It's WotC. You really think they could do patterns to that degree? That's 2 variables, man. That's about, I was going to say 1 too many. That's about 2 too many for them. So anyway, 2/4, Death Touch. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. Always nice. You may play lands and cast spells with mana value 4 or greater from the top of your library. Ooh, summoning the big boys, but he is, well, the Calamity's Augur, so duh. And then tap and surveil too. So he's probably the one running the show there. All right. I think they snuck in a commander card. I don't know how realistic that is to play that in Constructed, but next up we got Ygra or something like that, Eater of All. Right there with you, brother, right there with you. Give me that 4-person breakfast platter. I'll polish that off. So it's a 5-cost black-green 6/6 elemental cat, so might be the cat tribal color there. It has ward sacrifice of food. Okay, so we'll have food in the set. Makes sense. Other creatures are food artifacts in addition to their other types and have pay to, well, you know what it is, the food effect. Whenever a food is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, put all 1/1 counters on Ygra, Eater of All. That made no sense and I misread it. 2 1/1 counters, not all. It's been a long day. Next up, we got another class here, Hunter's Talent. So 2-cost green, uncommon. When it enters, target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control, because the only force fight now is an unfair fight where they can't hit you back, which I think is kind of bullshit. You pay 2, you go to level 2. Whenever you attack, target attacking creature gets +1/+0 and gains trample until end of turn. And then at level 4 more, level 3, at the beginning of your end step, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, draw a card. Oh, that is powerful. You can crank this up. That's not bad. Next up, we got the Mouse Tribal, which is Boros Colors, aka Candy Cane, aka White Red. Which of the 2 of those did you understand? That's why I don't like these stupid elitist nicknames that are gatekeeping, like actually legitimately gatekeeping, while also trying to show off and be elitist, but yeah. 50 other rants about that on my channel. So 3-cost 3/2 Vigilance Haste, and it has Valiant. Ooh. Whenever Seedglaive Mentor becomes the target of a spell or ability you control for the first time each turn, put a 1/1 counter on it. Oh, so it's limited heroic. Ooh. I don't know if going down in power from heroic is that good of an idea, because you're already risking kind of like 2 spells on the same card a little bit. I don't know. Yeah, whatever. It's probably more balanced. I'll take it. Next up, Thornvault Forager. It's a 2-cost green 2/2 creature Squirrel Ranger with tap, add 1 green. And then tap Forage. Yeah, dig up my garden. And then get shot, you little bastard. Add 2 mana in any combination of colors. But to Forage, exile 3 cards from your graveyard or sacrifice a food. Makes sense. He is digging up my garden. Then you can pay 4 and search your library for a squirrel card, reveal it, put it in your hand, and shuffle. Ooh, okay. Little King of the Squirrel Tribal here, except he can't be commander, because he's not legendary. Next up, Phineas, traditionally spelled wrong. All right. Ace Archer, 2-cost 2/2, 1 white, 1 green, and that would be the rabbit colors. They said they weren't going to make these like humanoid and what do they call that? Anthropomorph. I can never say that word. You know what I'm going for. They said the animals would be accurate. They ain't no rabbit I've ever seen. Okay, that's a humanoid rabbit. They got a giant body, a giant head, giant ears, and then really short arms and wouldn't be able to pull a bow. Wow, they did not stick to it at all on this one. If you're going to do it and you're going to say you're going to do it, then do it. I know some hares and some desert ones aren't as like fat and round as the ones around here, but still. So Vigilance Reach, whenever Phineas Ace Archer attacks, put a 1/1 counter on each other creature you control. That's a token or a rabbit. Ooh. Then if creatures you control have total power 10 or greater, draw a card. Holy crap, Blitz Tribal. So rabbits are going to just dump tokens and blitz the crap out of people while boosting them. So that's fitting, actually. Next up, Valley Quest Caller, a rabbit warrior. It's a 2-cost 2/3. Whenever 1 or more other rabbits, bats, birds, or mice you control enter the battlefield, scry 1. And then other rabbits, bats, birds, and mice you control get +1/+1. Ooh. A Lord card with a scry for 2 that's got a toughness higher than CMC. Dang. It's not bad. I'm glad they made it a rare. All right, then we've got Wear Down. And I'm covering this one because it's the first instance of gift a card. So, 2-cost green sorcery, gift a card. You may promise an opponent a gift as you cast the spell. If you do, they draw a card before its other effects. Oh, I thought that the gift a thing and the promise was fish related. Is that only one card? That sucks. Well, anyway, destroy target artifact or enchantment. If the gift was promised, instead destroy 2 artifacts or enchantments. Okay, so I blew up your 2 stupid little blue portals that are overpowered garbage from the last set, but can I offer you a card in this time of hardship? I promise. So next up, Warren Warleader. It's a 4-cost double white 4/4 creature rabbit knight, offspring 2. So that's a value. And whenever you attack, choose one. Create a 1/1 white rabbit creature token that's tapped and attacking. There you go. See, Swarm. I told you, Rabbit Swarm. Or attacking creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. Ooh. So you already, for 6, would get 2 of these. And then the next turn, unless you somehow granted them haste, wow. 2 triggers, so you could jack them all up +2/+2. Eesh. Not even tribal locked. This is a good card. Then we've got Tender Wild Guide. Cute. It's a 2-cost green 2/2 possum druid. Let's see, what's left? Would it be Christmas colors or possums, maybe? Could be a one-off, who knows. So you can tap, and offspring 2, so you get a 1/1 miniature version of it. And then tap, add 1 mana of any color, and then tap, put a 1/1 counter on this creature. Oh, they're growing big over time. Okay. Little gamble, little tactics there. I like that. You know, I love that. Next up, Camellia, the Seed Miser. A black-green legendary creature squirrel warlock, and he has menace and 3/3. Other squirrels you control have menace. Squirrels are a menace, so that's fitting. Boy, the ground up mixed with the pseudo top down on this design, actually pretty clever. Whenever you sacrifice 1 or more foods, create a 1/1 green squirrel creature token, and then pay 2 forage, which is, you know, exile 3 cards from your graveyard or sacrifice a food, and put a 1/1 counter on each other squirrel you control. Oh, maybe that could get out of control. It ain't no slivers. I mean, the bar's pretty high, but damn. Next up, Ral Crackling Wit. Oh no, they actually have Ral. Okay. This is canon? This is in... What the hell is this? How did he become an otter? I thought that was just a joke card. I don't even want to know. All right, so 4-cost isn't colored 4/4. There you go. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a loyalty counter on Ral Crackling Wit, and then +1. Create a 1/1 blue and red otter creature token with prowess. -3, draw 3 cards and discard 2 cards. And -10, draw 3 cards. You get an emblem with. Instant and sorcery spells you cast have Storm. We've actually already seen this card. I don't remember if it was spoiled or leaked. I think it was leaked. But whatever, moving on, we got Season of Weaving. Oh, yes, they're back. I think the blue highlight was just on the stream and people screenshotted this. So, you know, it is what it is. But 6-cost double blue sorcery, part of that same season thing. 4 seasons, 5 colors. So, all right. Choose up to 5 paw prints worth of modes. You know how it works. 1 is draw cards. So you can just draw 5 cards for 6, which is actually a very high ratio. 2, choose an artifact or creature you control. Create a token that's a copy of it. Oh my god, 2 of those for 6. This is outrageously powerful. Coming from the expert in cloning over the last 10 years, that is nuts. 3 paw prints. Return each non-land, non-token permanent to its owner's hand. I don't think this resolves the way they think it does. It might be the order you choose them, but I don't know. I think whatever you just cloned, it would get caught up in the return, which means it would go away. It's not considered simultaneous if it's written like in a linear fashion chronologically on the card, but they're not in sentences, they're modes, so they're simultaneous, which implies that you would be able to choose the order and then you wouldn't blast your own stuff into orbit. Unless you're running a frog deck and you want to. Huh. No, you could pseudo board wipe and then draw 2 cards. I mean... Damn, this is powerful. This is outrageous. This is like an insane card. Next up, Maha. It's Feathers Knight. This might be the big bad, but I don't know. I think they stole the golden egg from this. I don't know. Anyway, it's a 5-cost mythic. We got to be seeing just about all the mythics, but they've been overpacking mythics in the sets as, let's call a spade, a way to rip you off. It's a 6/5. Legendary creature, elemental bird, flying trample, ward, discard a card. Okay, creatures your opponents control have base toughness 1. Holy tap dancing crap, that's insane. I think this is the big bad. I mean, it's number 100 in the list, so cool, but it's also the story spotlight card. So it's Calamities versus Calamities, or the Calamities are mad because they think the... Oh, that's what it is, because Seattle lefties love this crap. It's a false flag operation. They framed the animals to get the Calamity Beast to attack the animals, but they're probably the ones who actually stole the big gold egg from Angry Maha. Shout out to Maha from .hacksign. What's up? Yeah, this is blow up on site. Still less annoying than that stupid slug, which I'm 99% sure cycles out. So good riddance to that piece of shit. May it burn in hell. So 2 cost 2/2 Squirrel Warlock, Osteomancer Adept. I assume that's Bone Wizard. Death Touch, and tap until end of turn. You may cast creature spells from your graveyard by foraging, in addition to paying their other costs. If you cast the spell that way, that creature enters with a finality counter on it. Ooh. If it would die, you exile it instead. What? Huh? Why would that be a benefit? Let me rewind the tape and run that back one more time. Why would you want your own creature to not go to the graveyard and go to exile? There is literally no benefit I could possibly see to that in any way. Ah, I caught it. I caught it. You're casting from your graveyard. That's the benefit. I thought they said from your hand or the library, whatever. I've been working a lot today. All right, well, next up we got Fireglass Mentor, black, red, 2/1, creature lizard warlock. At the beginning of your second main phase, if an opponent lost life this turn, exile the top 2 cards of your library, choose one of them. Until end of turn, you may play that card. You choose one, but it doesn't say reveal. Oh, but exile. It doesn't say exile face down. Okay, those would be public knowledge. Okay. Brain's kicking in eventually. The last horse crosses the line eventually. Next up, we got Muera, Trash Tactician. And he's part of the Trash Panda. Oh, sorry, accidental racial slur there. Raccoon Warrior Tribe. He's Christmas colors, 2/4. At the beginning of your first main phase, add 1 red or 1 green for each raccoon you control to your mana pool. I bet it's going to say... Oh, no, it doesn't say it. I thought for sure they'd say you keep the mana. Okay. Whenever you expend 4, you gain 3 life. You expend 4 as you spend your 4th total mana to cast spells during a turn. Okay. That's kind of neat. It's like a neat new thing. I don't for sure know that it's new. I've just never heard of it, but I think I know 90% of things in the game at this point. But whenever you expend 8, exile the top 2 cards of your library. Until the end of your next turn, you may play those cards. Hey. It's kind of spicy without going overboard. I like this. I like this whole set so far. This looks like amazing to draft, except for all the dual colors. That's going to be rough, but it's going to keep people off of your colors. But if 2 people really want to go white-black, you're both going to lose because there ain't enough to go around. I'll tell you that right now. I think that's why they threw in a ton of like generic, utility mono cards and a lot of hybrid too. Maybe it'll be a good balance. I don't know. So next up we got Starseer Mentor. It's a black-white 5-cost 3/5 Bat Warlock with Flying and Vigilance, and at the beginning of your end step, if you gained or lost life this turn, so in other words, yes, target opponent loses 3 life unless they sacrifice a non-land permanent or discard a card. Oh ho ho! Big ol' penalty, but I mean he costs 5 there. Kind of a mistake that he's not legendary, in my opinion, but whatever. You can splash blue and clone him. I don't like that. Next up, Parting Gust. Here we go. Okay, so it's 2 white, instant. Gift a tapped fish. Okay, so that's a completely different thing than promise. Okay. Oh, wait, no. It says you may promise an opponent a gift. Okay. As you cast this spell, if you do, they create a tapped 1/1 blue fish creature token before its other effects. No trigger response in the middle of a resolution of a card, by the way. So they can't like do anything weird with it, like sack it or something before you finish. But then the rest of it is exile target non-token creature. If the gift wasn't promised, return that creature to the battlefield under its owner's control with a 1/1 counter on it at the beginning of the next end step. Ooh, little flicker action there. Okay. So if you promise them a fish, you exile their creature, but compensatory damages I find in favor of the plaintiff. They get a 1/1 fish. But then if you didn't promise it, they just get the creature back with a 1/1 counter, which means you'd probably be targeting your own creature. Kinda interesting. Next up, we got Castral, the Wind-Crested. He's I was going to say Sphinx, and then they made him Sphinx colors, but no, bird. Just missed it. So, blue, white, 4/5. So that would be the birds, I guess. I don't know. Birds are kind of white, but oh no, they were blue before. I don't know. I haven't been paying attention. Flying, whenever one or more birds you control deal combat damage to a player, choose one. You may put a bird creature from your hand or graveyard onto the battlefield with a finality counter on it. Hello. Good thing there's no Eldrazi birds. Put a 1/1 counter on each bird you control or draw a card. Woo, get swarmed, except in the air. I think that's going to be the strongest tribal by far. Next up, we got the start of a cycle here. It's Lily Pad Village. Cute. It's an uncommon land. You tap it for colorless. You can tap it for 1 blue, but you can spend the mana only to cast a creature spell, because it's a creature set, dang it. And if you pay 1 blue and tap it, surveil 2, but activate only if a bird, frog, otter, or rat entered the battlefield under your control this turn. I assume the rest were similar, but no, not really. We got Lupin Flower Village. Same thing, but you pay 2, one of them being white. Tap it, sacrifice the land, and look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may reveal a bat, bird, mouse, or rabbit card from among them, and put it in your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Alright, good use of it. Then we got Mudflat Village. It's the black version. Pay 2, tap it, sack it. Go get a bat, lizard, rat, or squirrel card from your graveyard and put it back into your hand. Got the green one, Ocala Village. Put a 1/1 counter on each frog, rabbit, raccoon, or squirrel you control that enter the battlefield this turn, except you don't sack the land. So these aren't really identical. They're just, they do more what the color does and it just kind of follows along instead of, no, they have to be the same. I can respect that. This is a pretty well-designed set, actually. So enter the battlefield this turn, then you got to reserve 1 by not tapping this, and reserve a 2nd mana to activate the ability, and then you only get a 1/1 counter on every one that entered the battlefield. So you'd probably have to activate this off of triggers to get a lot of mileage out of it, or really late game. And then we've got the red one. So tap it, target lizard, mouse, otter, or raccoon you control gets +1/+0 and gains haste until end of turn. No sack. Not too bad. And then next up we got Hugs Grizzly Guardian. He's part of the Christmas Badger tribe, which famously defeated the Honey Badger tribe. He is 2 green, 2 red, plus X, 5/5, legendary by the way, trample, and when he enters the battlefield, exile the top X cards of your library until the end of your next turn. You may play those cards. You may play an additional land on each of your turns. Now that is while he's in play, you may play an additional land on each of your turns, not just this turn and the next one. Those are separate abilities. So that is it. So far, I am absolutely impressed. I still think, I haven't read the story, but I still think that the premise as far as the art is just a weird, kind of dumb idea. I'm just not feeling it. Like animals doing battle, but then they're also wizards. Well, then just make them like anthropomorphic. Except they attract enough weirdo, lefty, liberal, creepy furries. So I guess that's why they didn't do it. Still looks like my grandma's house decorations, and that's never going to change. So whatever. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you guys next time.